Yes, yes.
Who is it again? Shooter McGavin?
Shooter.
Yes. Yeah, what's the word, y'all? This is Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 91.
91.
Right on time. My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host with the co-most, the left kid, Mr. Brendan Long.
Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
Irish William in the building.
Hello, hello.
We're going to see how things went with him. I have a feeling he's going to blame something on me again, based on texts.
That was a very proper.
I was pretty quiet this weekend after Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
What are you doing? Living in a shed? How we doing here?
Kubi.
Kubi. Kubi.
Yeah, B just
Great.
mentioned offline the 100th episode. What are we doing in 9 weeks? I think
Getting
Party
close.
Irish Billies.
Oh, it's gonna
Party
get
Irish Billies recorded. Where can
Live
I
episode.
almost said your wife's name. Where
Oh.
can Billy's wife take?
That would have been
Free
apropos to the
Rugrat.
previous conversation too.
Agreed.
Let's see. What's 9 weeks from now? Is it gonna be hot?
What's the?
Still?
It depends with
It'll
this
be
global
October.
Pool party.
We could do a Halloween special.
Yeah.
Halloween pool party?
Mhm.
Halloween leisure dives.
My pool will not be open that long.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
closing this sucker next week, I think.
Are ya?
Sick of it, Vin. Sick of it.
Mhm.
Sick of the pool. Look at
He's regretting buying the place with the pool.
I was gonna say these are like wealthy guy problems.
Hangers on, the hangers. My aunt,
Pool groupies.
my aunt had pool groupies. She had an in-ground pool. My uncle
Mhm.
did well back in the day. So
Yeah.
whatever what all Philadelphians do when they get some Scott is move
Right.
to South Jersey. That's the move.
Get out to the country, get yourself a pool.
So they did it. They did it. I was a little kid. I was the only one. What child hates leaving home and going to a pool? This guy.
Yeah.
I would cry if my mom was like, "You're going down there for the weekend." I would have a mental breakdown.
Did you have cousins there?
Well, I was and am the only person my age in the family. Everyone's
Okay.
either in their late 50s or like kids. You know what I'm saying?
So you're kind of on your own.
I had no family anywhere near my age. When I say anywhere, I mean no one within 11 years. That's the closest.
Really?
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, I had so many homies, you know what I mean? And my aunt would get upset because I didn't want to go down there. Like she's mad sensitive.
Right.
So she thought it was like related to her, like, oh, he doesn't love me or something. You know what I mean? It was like,
That's what you do. That's the effect you
guys,
have on people.
right, it is clearly.
Nice guy.
One move I did have though that was illmatic. My aunt took me to see E.T., right? Then I get sent down to Jersey against my wishes. And she was like, "Did you see E.T.?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't see that, John." So I got E.T. twice in a week.
Double feature.
Because I was real, I was real devious with it.
There you go.
So I saw two E.T. in the theater screenings in 1 week.
Look at this guy.
That was lit.
Extraterrestrial in it up.
The extra testicle. Oh, E.T., the extra testicle.
Me. So this is where you learn how to swim in that pool.
My uncle threw us in.
That's
the
it.
Deep end.
The old sink or swim.
Deal with it.
You can't do that to kids now. They'll take this.
Fuck no, they'll take them away from me.
Yeah, they're called CPS right away.
Billy just perked up when he heard that. He's gonna throw all three in tomorrow. You know what I mean?
How do you know that's not our?
Yeah, I was gonna say he puts them in a wheelbarrow and just dumps them in.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. One shot deal. Can your kids swim?
They can. Yeah, my 5-year-old is swimming without swimmies or anything.
That's lit.
Yeah, Mia's doing the no swimmies thing. She's killing it. We went to the pool next door in the park, the public pool.
Yeah,
we're all sick now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen?
We're all sick. They like put extra chlorine in it.
Imagine the ghouls that are in there. Then they're putting more things in.
You'd be surprised. Like pretty empty all the time. No one goes to it. Everyone's afraid to get sick.
Of course, because see what happens.
Yeah.
100th episode, Party Abilities.
So,
And
Recording.
you want to record at the party?
Yes.
the party's just us three.
Yeah, the party's us three with,
Party.
right.
Chips and dip?
Definitely.
All right.
Let's get into some news. I like this bit of news actually. I was wondering if this was going to happen, to be
Okay.
honest, because I didn't bring it up on the air because it was an announcement that lacked an announcement. But a couple times Timmy Zoo posted like a thing with, say, the word like September in it. I'm like, okay, well, is this an announcement or is it just
Right.
like, yo, I'm ready to come back? Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. And then, at 54, a lot of stuff is going on with Bud Madrimov. And then they said it was going to be Spence Fundora. That falls apart. And then we just had Ortiz, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're going to get into all that, but I'm just saying that we're just reeling off 5, 6, 7 guys who are really good at 54, just lit up all of a sudden. The IBF have now officially ordered Bakram Murtalazayev to defend his IBF 154 title versus Tim Tszyu next. Parties have 30 days, which would be until September 5th. So it's
IBF.
less than that now to agree to a deal. Then it goes to the purse bids. So Tim Tszyu's, next fight is a shot at the IBF. And whether we on this show think belts matter, this is when they do.
Yeah.
Because then you have a bargaining chip. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A guy like Bud, a guy like anyone with a name and a draw that says, well, what does he bring to the table? Well, a belt is something, that these guys like to collect because
Sure.
that guy's really good, Murtalazayev. So I'm with that,
Yeah, I am too. This is good. It's going to be a good fight. It gets Tim in the mix, and it looks like, well, we'll get into it, but the possibilities are endless at 54.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will get
so there's a
into
lot
that,
of really good matchups, and now
really good fights and a lot of evenly matched fights because
Sure.
the fights that are happening are even. So then
And-
you just mix and match these dudes and you have all these even fights because we now know how good they are.
right. And it was sounded like Tszyu was kind of stepping away from Turkey Al-Ashiki, and then he sort of came back around on that. So,
well, Turkey Al-Ashik said something really weird on DAZN. We've talked about this a lot, B. And
dude, he's
someone.
Okay. This is a continuation of last episode,
last week's, yeah,
where Vinnie and I were saying we're kind of pontificating if there was someone that could be able to
mellow him out, tap him on the shoulder.
And Vin and I then came to the conclusion that there probably isn't.
Correct.
And this goes along with what.
By the way, we both like him and think he's good for the sport.
For now, I hope so.
And
your original prediction about this though is another passing. This is a passing picks. It's good if he does if everything goes according to plan and
if he makes Pacquiao Usyk in 3 months,
right? And this doesn't spiral out of control. Unfortunately, we're seeing a bit of ego from His Excellency, and the fighting with other fighters, the argue,
the Canelo. Let me ask you something, B. Did you see when he was standing there talking with Oscar on DAZN? Because I know you had family over, you had 2 fights to watch.
2 fights, right?
I
didn't pay attention to it.
So they were sort of talking about this potential partnership, and shaking hands, and it was like kissing babies, very political. But so, who is the guy? I actually like him. I don't know what you would call him. He kind of hosts / is the interviewer. Is it Beto?
Beto Duran.
Beto. So
Beto does all the Golden Boy stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Beto had spoke, he was the one speaking to people that night. You know what I mean? Whoever it was. So Beto had Turki Al-Sheikh and Oscar together. And he's like, yo, with tonight's card, meaning Ortiz, and what just happened with Bud and Madrimov, and we have all these guys here, and you have Tim Tszyu in the mix, and he flat out was like, no, I do not care about Tim Tszyu. No, he is not part of
Right.
my plan or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That isn't verbatim, but I'm not backing down and saying, oh, don't quote me. Absolutely quote me. It is what he said, but
Right.
I'm just not saying the exact words. So yes, don't quote me, but the
You're
sentiment
paraphrasing.
was paraphrasing. The sentiment was like, either I'm not dealing with him or he's not my guy or X, Y, Z, you know, and that threw me off. Not that I thought he was his guy, but his attitude is like, let's make the best fights. So to poo-poo a guy who is one of the best at one of the weights where everyone's at is odd and is a testament to your overall view of how he's handling things.
Right. Here's my criticism, if that's sort of what I'm doing,
Yeah,
is that you can't fights are not foregone conclusions. That's why they fight the fights, right?
correct.
Now, granted, you have a very good record of picking fights. We talk about our buddy Raynon has a good record of picking fights because the point we've made on this show is that there's a matchmaker, and you guys also have a keen eye for the sport. So there are upsets though, and there are evenly matched fights. And just because we saw something this weekend, just because you want a fight to happen because it financially makes sense or it's two names that would match up nice,
Right.
you can't write off the opponent on the current card because the guy you want to win. Listen, that when there's close scorecards leads to rumblings of corruption, right?
Absolutely.
If there's a close card or something that maybe could go either way, and the guy that you, as the promoter and the money guy, have stated before you have plans for going
Yep.
forward.
Yep.
Again, you and I spoke about this last week about tapping him on the shoulder.
I mean, it's not going to happen, but yes. Yeah, I agree with every word you're saying.
Then he's going to learn the hard way is what'll happen. Again, and we've said that there's probably ridiculous amount of money that they're willing to throw at this before they decide to go, okay, let's rein it in.
I don't know that is where
Yeah.
these
Or that they get bored with it.
that is more to me. This is my opinion and my statement before we move on. Well, we don't have to move on, but this
Yeah.
is not where my head is at. That is what will happen way before
Running out of money.
finances come into. I think what people don't understand, and it's not their fault, they're not exposed to it. I think what people don't understand, just the average layman like us, people like us, they don't understand. They think someone like Trump is rich. Like these people laugh at that type of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like these people,
this is undocumented wealth. This is
unfathomable,
right.
undocumented. It's you don't use the word generational wealth. It's 20, 30, 40 generations that you could
Yeah, it's forever.
conceivably, it's there is no end. And
No,
it's rare that you can say that there is no end to this. If you go,
right.
well, how's he going to keep putting on fights for this amount of money? Until what Brendan said, until it bores him.
Right.
And if he,
Or until they
depending on,
find it frustrating and it makes them look bad.
yeah, sure. If
Yeah.
pride or ego come into play, that's
Sure.
always there. I mean, I like him. I think you and I talk a lot, often about people that are strangely funny. Like the average person would not tell you they think Bud Crawford is funny. We think he's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
I think Turkey Al Sheik is funny as shit, and there's a sense of humor there because there is an Arab sense of humor that's really dry. And
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience from my Arab friends who have the same sense of humor,
Right.
and we've had Fadi on,
Mhm.
Fadi Atal,
One guest.
who who works for and on the fights that are held over there. He's a huge part of those fights. And when I tell him I think Turkey is funny, he cracks up because he's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah.
But he didn't think I would catch it because
Right.
it's a very, we talk about on this show like what East Coast ball breaking is, and you bring it to the wrong place in the room, it sounds like a record skipped.
Mhm.
Because people are horrified. That's happened to me my whole life. There's just pockets of the world where there's senses of humor. You talk about our whole lives. Yo, you know, you would have friends who didn't get British humor. And me and you have talked
Yeah.
about it, how we
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But there were people who were like, no, I don't get, like my
Yeah, if you
mom
didn't watch
doesn't.
if you didn't watch Monty Python from when
If
you're
you
like a
didn't,
little kid.
yeah, if you didn't watch the young ones, like my mom's
Right.
just not a fan of British humor. It's not her thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Especially, yeah, their generation where like that term was in the lexicon, like, oh, that's British humor.
correct.
You know,
Correct.
like you ask a young person now, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, of
What, like
course.
Ricky Gervais? Everybody likes
Right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that worries me. B, does it worry you? That little comment that no one has run with. No one has run with his comment regarding he seemed dismissive. How's that?
Yeah, well, that's
Dismissive of
what
Tim
so
Tszyu. Is that problematic for you?
it is, and it's to the ego thing, right? So
Yeah.
like if you don't choosing my words carefully here,
Yeah.
which I never do,
Yeah.
because I'm just gonna say what's on my mind. Feels
Yeah.
like if you don't bend the knee, like to a degree, like he's gonna be like, meh, I don't want to deal with it.
It wouldn't be something new in this sport.
Right, right.
You know,
So like the whole tribute to the thing, like we on the Bud card, we're like getting inducted into the Hall of Fame and doing this
yeah.
and doing that,
Yeah.
and it's all like we're gonna feed your ego, like
Mhm.
like they think they're playing him in terms of like let's play up to his ego so he'll give us the money and the fights and
Sure.
this
And
and
have
that
more stuff here and bring
here,
more of the stuff
right?
here
Bring it
because
to
it's
LA, bring it to Vegas, bring it to New York, bring it
yeah,
to
guys, understand these events that are big, guys. You have to understand why people vie for the Olympics, vie for the Super Bowl, vie for X, Y, and Z, because
right. It
it's an
boosts the economy.
economic boom in the city outside of the said event.
Hmm.
You know, ask anyone in Vegas, you know,
Yeah.
if we talk to Chris, aka Correct, who'll be like, yo, it's a fucking madhouse because not only is there this fight, but this fucking thing. What's the thing where they race, but
F1,
it's not yeah,
F1.
F1. Very huge in Europe. You know what I
Right. And he
mean?
was and he was and he was hating on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, yo, that's how he's gonna get revenue.
Well,
He
I
said,
call you Mudgy because you're a curmudgeon, but he can rival you. I'll tell you that much.
I've been a little grumpy lately.
Yeah, well, he's always grumpy. So does
It's
that put him above you as Mudgy?
I don't know, it's been raining here a lot.
I love the rain.
You're a fucking
I love the
wackadoo.
rain and the
The
cold.
cold, yeah, I know.
This Eddie Hearn has confirmed that he's in talks with Frank Warren about a rematch of the Queensberry Matchroom 5 versus 5 event and said he hopes news will be announced soon.
So that would be like Nick Ball
Next
and
month or so. Yeah, that we
Ray
love that
Ford.
card. Yeah, we love
Yeah.
that card, remember?
Hmm.
Let me throw it back. So what do you think regarding the
Hey, Vin, does he mean a rematch of all the fighters and fights
that's how
anymore?
I see it.
Or is it like, oh, we're just gonna run it back, we're gonna get a new roster?
I believe the way I read it is vague, but that's how the news bit was given to me.
Mm.
So I can't remember all 5 cards because
Well, like
the Nick Ball.
I think Hamza Shiraz and weren't they on that? And
Yeah, but he beat the
Amma
dog shit
Williams,
out
Williams,
of Amma
right?
Williams. So you
So why would
wouldn't
they
run
run
that back,
right? So it's got to maybe it's just like a.
Well,
Let's
I thought what's his name nicked the Nick Ball fight, the kid we like.
Ray Ford.
I thought Raymond Ford nicked that. So that would make sense to run it back.
Right.
But they're already going somewhere else with Nick Ball because of all these shakeups that we're getting into
Right.
later.
And I think Ray Ford moved up.
And Benito Mussolini may have lifted the curse. We're going to get into that. You're always heaping praise on me. There's some praise to be heaped on you in a little bit.
Grazie.
Great. Priego. So yeah, the question mark here with this bit of news. Do they just want to do another Queensberry match?
I think I'm thinking that's
maybe
what it is because
maybe a couple
yeah,
of them, if a
mix
couple
it
of them
in.
were close, run them back and then show some fresh guys. I like the idea. I like the way it turned out.
I liked it.
I thought it was a fun card. You and I are really big on Hamza Shiraz, so no reason to run
By
it
the
back
way,
with him, but bring him back.
Bring him back and promote him.
Well, I heard his name thrown about it for Bud. He's not ready for Bud, and it's not a money fight. But I heard it today.
They got to get Bud in a money fight now at 54.
Agreed.
After what you told me the other day.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oof.
Guys, whatever you think those paydays were and how much money we're talking about is being thrown around. Oof. B and I we felt bad about the main event paydays.
Yeah.
For a guy who was champion in Madrimov
Is that published? Are we allowed to
some
say that?
people,
Or is that we're not supposed to talk about?
I don't know. We heard that. How about that? We heard something. We heard that Bud got 2.5 million for that fight, and that Israel Madrimov got $750,000, who's the champion.
And I know for a fact that's below Bud's minimum.
And we also know that monstrous pay-per-views you get back at No Diddy, and we also heard this sold under 100,000 copies. And you and I did some back of the napkin math when we were talking this weekend. We said, okay, 100,000 at 80 clams a piece. All right, so that's 8 million. What was the gate? What was X,
I
Y,
haven't
and
heard the
Z?
gate.
And neither have I.
So this goes to Bob Arum years ago, which annoyed me when he did this.
It annoyed me too.
I'll explain why in a second. That Terrence Crawford is a losing entity. Can't make money on him. What Bob was, I believe, saying is, I have to pay this guy $4 or $5 million a fight because that's what he's earned at this point in his contract.
That gets tricky.
I can't recoup that because he doesn't sell pay-per-views. Gate, great.
Correct.
Pay-per-views, not so much. And I can't figure out why a guy with 11 straight knockouts can't sell without a dance partner. I just can't figure it out. I like his part. Like, again, we say it all the time. He's like a fighter's fighter. He's like a
He is, man. What is there not to like about Bud Crawford? This guy should be a star. I mean, we really see it in Boots. We've asked Irish Billy to join in and asked about prices. Are they out? Are they outpricing themselves? B, we both own our own businesses. Does it make more sense to possibly sell 5, 6, 700,000 by making this thing $40? A couple friends get together and throw up 10.
Volume.
And Billy was like, "Yo, man." Billy was like, I don't know, man, $80, and I'm gonna be by myself. Maybe I'll go to the bar that has it. That's what he said when we brought that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot,
bro.
It's a lot of money. And then it's, again, I've said this time and time again, it's why boxing's not TV friendly. And we'll get into a fight later, but not everything is going to be Venado Lopez, Angelo Leo.
Correct.
Not everything's end that way.
Correct.
That was a TV friendly affair, and ESPN lucked out.
And if you tuned in, which we hope a lot of people did, because that was on regular ESPN, not the app.
Right.
I think on the episode before, I don't know if I said it on air to you and Billy or off, but you know this. I have a childhood friend, I mean like little kid sandbox shit, that was on Jeopardy, won it, was in the champion of the champion things, like that thing.
I didn't know that.
So I posted, I told you guys that before. That's my guy from back in the day. Paisan, of course. I posted, I don't want to play spoiler here on our own show, but I posted that KO and put KO of the year ? Now, I've known this kid since I was a small child and have never talked boxing with him.
Okay.
And he wrote, I blinked and that guy was asleep. And I was like, yo, this is a guy who, at very least is casual. I hope a lot of people caught that card. And that's how boxing becomes bigger.
Sure.
Not by all these things we've talked about the first 20 minutes of this show.
Yeah.
You have to have that. Yo, how about when you have your buddies asking you, well, what is that on? And you go, da-da-da. What is that? Well, I don't have that. What is the zone?
Can I get your password? Is what I get.
Oh, yeah, sure. What is the zone? I don't have ESPN Plus.
And no, they limit the devices that can log on to this.
The zone, in my opinion, is the most stringent because I'm
bro.
The
zone. Help us. I go upstairs.
I'm like a generous dude.
Right.
See? Like the zone turned on me because I have this device, then this TV, then this TV.
I want to move around a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And I gave it to Scott. Guys, Scott is who I'm always in the studio with and mixes my records. And
shout out to Scott.
Partner in crime. Yeah, he went to the fights with us. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool
shout out Stallone. Good aces. I had given it to him because they
Long
have,
Island guy.
yeah, they have football on there, meaning soccer. They have lots of other sports on there,
Right.
and he
Right.
loves soccer. So I was like, yo, here's my Peacock drawn. They have soccer, you know what I mean? They have
Right. Right. Right.
Premier League, like more the merrier, you know what I mean? He'll give me a pass. You know how it is. Whatever,
Whatever.
whatever,
Right. Well, yeah.
whatever it is.
Pornhub. Whatever.
Gross. So, but I think, man, like we were already talking about a splintered sport for years. And one thing we can't deny, no matter what our opinion is on any of these things, whether we think this guy's good or bad for the sport, or this guy's great or he's okay for the sport, it is so splintered.
Yeah.
People that like it are going, yo, what is that on? Yo,
Right.
what does he fight for? Is he with Oscar? Even though
I
it's
years ago when everyone blamed the NBA downfall on Michael Jordan leaving, which was
Yeah.
part of it.
yeah.
The other part of it, in my opinion, was TNT, TBS, this, and it was
Then
like,
your local NBC
and then,
Sports,
right, then,
is
yeah,
where you watch
we
the
have
Sixers, and you have
we have
MSG.
MSG,
Yeah, we
right.
have,
So
we
you
had, it
had
was
you,
called Comcast Net, whatever. And now it's like
yeah,
they were bought out by your old company, NBC. So it's like NBCS.
vice versa.
Like, yeah,
Comcast bought NBC,
right. So
yeah,
Xfinity is the main company,
right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, that's where I watch the Flyer. Not, I don't. That's where I watch the Phillies and Sixers.
so
Yeah, what is
Billy
it?
watches Flyers,
Because of this Irish Billy.
Flyers. So I think that getting eyes on the sport the way that this is set up is, it's rough.
It's bad. We'll
It's
get
bad.
into it though as we
Yeah,
go
sure.
back. I want to go back to the very first piece of news, and I want you to lend some. You were a TV guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're both boxing guys. So if they're going with Timmy Zoo, they have 30 days, which is not 30 days anymore. It's 3 weeks until September 5th to agree to a deal. Then purse bids. Do you think they're both in camp so this gets made like this and they say, oh, next month? Or no? Are we gonna have to wait till November, December?
Well, I think with his injury, I think they're gonna make it as long as possible to get him back in.
So what do you think the earliest we see Tim Zoo is? If September 5th is when they have till, and then it goes to purse bids mid-October
I'm
at the
thinking,
earliest?
Yeah, early November, mid-October.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously been in the gym, guys. Probably, I'm not sure about sparring, where the headgear would land in relation to his cut. He stays in the gym.
But they could also fashion something for him. They make
yeah, of course.
They make headgear that goes over the top. They make the full face shield now.
Yeah, the helmet. It's almost like a helmet gimmick.
It's insane. Like, I don't even understand when people wear that at the gym. You're like, well, this. I get it if you need to protect, like you could get the crossbar to protect your nose, but to wear the whole full, like, speaking of the Flyers, like it looks like a hockey mask.
Yeah.
Not the Jason hockey mask, the plexiglass
plexiglass gimmick.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Right. Well, guys, I hope we see Tim Zoo, Bakram Murtazalayev, for the belt in October. He's thinking closer to November because of the cut. He's right. Alexander Usyk has now welcomed the potential trilogy versus AJ. I don't particularly want any rematches, but when we beat Tyson Fury for the second time, and when Anthony Joshua beats Daniel Dubois, of course they will want to do a third fight. From my point of view, I have no right to deny Anthony a third fight because he gave me 2 incredible fights. Anthony helped me become even more famous in the world. Anthony did it. If it happens with God's help, then I'm ready for a third fight with Anthony. Look, we keep saying how can you not love Usyk every time he gets a chance to speak? He's being gracious to this guy.
He just says the right things.
Friends with, says the right things. Everything he said there is just from his heart. I don't care about that fight.
Me neither. Who would he fight?
See, here's the question for both of us, and I'm going to throw that right back at you. So whatever happens with the Fury fight, right? Could be interesting, or he's, maybe not. But Fury's big. He's got some skills. We don't know what's going to happen there. Let's just assume he wins. Who do we want him to fight then? Who is floating around at heavyweight?
I said I had said a while ago. I think like just take on all comers. So like Joseph Parker.
You start fighting those guys. You know those type of guys.
Yeah.
If Joe Joyce, who is done, do you fight Big Bang Jang if they run? Do you fight
Who is this guy? Cabile. Have we seen him fight? He beat Frank Sanchez. That's the guy who beat Frank Sanchez. I don't know. Do you fight that some German guy? I don't know.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because you start getting into deserving, and it's like, well, I beat a real guy. No one could beat Frank Sanchez. I beat him. I'm skilled, but no one cares. Usyk's not young, so the logic of, well, there's paydays that are coming. You know, well, you're 37, you're 38. Same with Bud. You know,
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I don't either. That's where you go.
That's probably why he's like, I just got to fight AJ.
We both just said we don't want to see it, and then we just talked ourselves back into it.
I'm saying for him, from his perspective.
No, agreed. But from ours too, we just went in a circle on air, live, saying we don't want it until, well, maybe that's the best fight for him.
Just made 3 left turns.
If he destroys Dubois, do you go, I mean, he's not old. Is he getting better? Is he what a new,
That's actually more intriguing to me because it was more controversial. A Dubois rematch. If Dubois,
I don't think that it's out of the question that Daniel Dubois beats AJ.
I don't either. If he,
I think you do.
I don't. No, I don't. I think Daniel Dubois could beat AJ. I'm agreeing with fucking Tony Taro over here.
If he's as good as I think he is, Dubois, he can beat him.
He could beat him.
Turkey Al-Sheikh and Oscar De La Hoya have both said they want to make Bud versus Vergil Ortiz and Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda on the same card. I love that.
I just want to speak up real quick.
Yes.
AJ's last fight is Ngannou, an MMA guy, and Otto Wallin, and Robert Helenius, and Jermaine Franklin, after losing to Usyk. Jermaine Franklin being the best of that bunch. Dubois, on the other hand, in the same amount of time, has fought Usyk, Miller, and Hrgovic. He has better opponents. And he's younger, hungrier. This might be an upset special. This has all the ingredients.
I wonder, because heavyweight fights with popular guys are considered, big fights. I wonder 5-6 weeks out if there's already a line. If there's already one floating around.
Something Billy can parlay into a series of fights over 5 weeks that pays out. That the crescendo is Dubois, AJ,
the like crescendo of September,
a 35 leg parlay that took 5 weeks,
$4 million
to come into fruition on a 6-cent bet, and he's just rubbing his hands together and he loses everything.
He doesn't have to worry about that pool anymore.
The pool is
Frank Warren has indicated that a Joseph Parker Big Bang Zhang rematch will have to happen next, as Zhang has a rematch clause and intends on enforcing it. Okay. I mean, we had some fights that we said throw Big Baby Miller is not going away. How about Big Baby Miller, Big Bang Zhang? So apparently that's gone.
The thing about Frank Warren and these proclamations are similar to Samson Lukowitz and his proclamations. Oftentimes, it's like Frank chat shit, and it's like you have no leverage because you don't have. You're the little buddy.
You're not in the position of power in this scenario,
right? So stop it.
What Joe the 12 to 18 months Joseph Parker has had, he's in the fucking control right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
He put himself in that position by beating guys,
Right.
Good for him. Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Nonito Donaire is being discussed to potentially take place later this year.
Okay, I got a follow up to that.
Okay, that's good.
Um, let me see, and I will read this to you right on air. And okay, from the man's Twitter 12 hours ago.
Okay.
On behalf of Chocolatito, we want to inform our fans that we have no interest at all of fighting Filipino Flash, nor are we in talks with his team. He has no title or anything, all caps, that interests us. Therefore, we wish him luck in retirement. God bless.
Wow. It doesn't get any clearer than that, guys.
Bro,
I think he wants the Bam fight in a swan song. That's my opinion. I said that before. Um, we're both worried about it, you and I.
yeah,
Um, you know, uh, them Chocolatito and Bam in their prime is the stuff dreams are made of
sure.
right now. Does the old man got one left in him? I think we're probably going to see if they put the right money in front of them.
That and just to piggyback on that tweet, I don't think that you're saying a guy who's not retired is retired. I think there's some gamesmanship in there. Maybe he's trying to get Nonito to take a small payday.
I think that's a pretty fucking brilliant tweet off topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez rematch for the WBO Super Feather World title, and the Rafael Espinosa versus Robisi Ramirez rematch for the WBO Featherweight World title reportedly could both take place on the same card on December 7th. We're cooking, man. If these
I
things
like
happen.
it.
If
Yep.
these things happen.
That would be on
both,
ESPN, I presume.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. Would they try to push that being a pay-per-view? I hope not. You and I have shared. We are big
Yeah, and
fans of
I hope not. I hope not around the holidays either. Like that's would be a nice little, present for everybody around the holidays to have a card like that.
Yeah. Lastly, in the news, Bud Crawford has now officially vacated his welterweight world title, the WBO, meaning Brian Norman Jr. has been upgraded from interim to full. So Brian Norman, got an email that told him, "Yo, you're the champ now."
The champ is here.
Yeah. He will move forward as WBA Super Welterweight World Champion and has the WB Interim Super Welterweight belt. Bud currently still remains WBO Welterweight World Champion, but it appears likely he could soon also vacate that belt, meaning Stanionis would be upgraded from regular to full World Champion. So, guys, because of Bud obviously having no intent of going back down, Stanionis and Norman have just both been handed titles. So, look, for B and I to put some respect on these guys' names, they got to fight. If not each other, good guys next.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if Stanionis and Norman fight after what I saw Norman do
Mhm.
and what I saw Stanionis looked like with the rust and the illnesses and picking Brian Norman. Junior.
I think when belts become available like this and they're bestowed upon people, I think it's giving an opportunity for Boots to unify before he moves.
He should call for those fights immediately.
I would literally be calling for them now.
Book it in Philly in November, and the boys will be back in town.
Yep. I say I make Boots Brian Norman or Boots Stanionis for his next fight. Now that they both have belts and Boots has one, then you're unified,
Mhm.
and then you go for undisputed, and then look for that monster fight somewhere, and going to 54 over the past couple months seems like the place where you
Yep.
can do so. And we know from seeing him in person how big of a kid Boots is. He has
He's big.
zero problem there. So let's move on, and shall we talk about you want to talk about the zone?
Yeah, let's
This week's card. So
yeah, because surprisingly,
my notes
but I mean, I don't know, man. We have what happened this weekend was pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Two different cards,
Yeah.
two different networks.
Yeah.
We got a knockout of the year, and we
Yeah.
got potential fight of the year.
My notes did not delete on me this week.
Yes.
Like they have previously. The first thing I wrote on my DAZN notes, Gabe Rosado is really good. I think he's really good as a
commentator.
Yeah, really
So that
good.
was Gabe Rosado and Corey Erdman, right?
I really like Corey Erdman too. He's good.
Yo, man, Corey Erdman. Shouts to Corey Erdman. Grew on me. Similarly on the ESPN card, and not to just jump.
Yeah.
I just want to keep this in broadcasting.
Yeah.
Algieri and Tess.
Great coupling there.
Bro.
So different without Bradley there.
I gotta say, the ESPN, the folks at ESPN need to really consider not using Chris as a backup.
Yeah, agreed.
And putting him in the starting position.
Agreed. And flip flop him and Tim Bradley.
You're gonna have to flip flop him and Tim.
So I just wanted to shout out Gabe Rosado and Corey Erdman for doing a really good job. Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Momo Romero. I remember Momo, he was a champ at 22. I go, this cannot be Momo Romero fighting at 40. That can't be the guy. And then, and I'm like, his hair had grown out. He used to have like a cut like ours, you know what I mean? Like low. Yeah. And it was him. Look, Sims throws a great jab, goes up and down with it. Good left hook to the body. For whatever it's worth, Momo Romero took this fight on a day's notice. I don't know that I've ever heard that before. Gabe Rosado backed up my claim. He's like, I took a fight on 3 days' notice before and thought that was crazy. I don't know. He even said, I've never heard that before. A day, unless you huge fights, guys, they'll have a guy waiting in the wings. Sometimes.
Yes, there'll be a backup guy that they could find at the local Arby's.
Yeah, but not for exactly, but not for a fight like this, So for a guy that was fighting at 122, respect to Momo Romero for not laying down. Crafty guy, even at 37, tough guy. His eye was bothering him. Did you watch this fight by any chance? I think he got poked in the eye because there was thumb to the eye because he kept pointing to it and saying in Spanish that his eye is bothering him, but it wasn't from punches and it wasn't swamp. I actually couldn't figure out what it was, but he kept saying it in the corner. So his eye was bothering, like I said, his eye was bothering me. It caught up to him for whatever was happening, and the corner stopped it. Sims is good, bro, but if you can't hurt a guy who is a bantamweight and has been stopped, I'm not really sure where there is to go at 140. Are you? There's names there. I don't know how great we think the names there are.
Right.
But are you ready for I don't know,
dude,
yeah, I don't think he has it. Do you?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
Charles Conwell, on the other hand.
Charles Conwell, man.
Versus
overmatched Chiari Gray.
Who went this previously spoken about. He went the distance with Bakram Mortazalayev, who is going to fight Tim Tszyu. So while he was overmatched, he went the distance with a goon. He lost, but he went the distance with a goon. This is one of the most beautiful body shots. They were saying liver to me because they never changed the angle B, which was probably making you batshit working in TV.
Drive me nuts.
Same shot over and over and over. I think it was to the solar plexus. They were saying liver. That shot right up the middle.
I think liver's just become a broad term.
Yeah, sweeping generalization.
Yeah.
He set it up with a decoy hook up top. Touched
Conwell. By the way, what weight class is he at? 54.
They're at 54.
That's
talking about
dude,
how interesting this is.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So you take Conwell and a Tim Tszyu, that's
there's gotta be names we said tonight without us looking. There's gotta be 8 guys there that could make fights.
It's just a pick 'em, the whole division.
It is.
It's Guys,
You
I'm
know
gonna
how
say
we
this right
always
now.
say, "Oh, it's top heavy, 1, 2, and 3, and then the rest."
Nah, man, yo, this division's on fucking fire, bro.
And it
And
can't. And we were murdering it before when Charlo was at the
right,
top. We're killing this division.
it,
There's no one
right,
here.
it's on fire right now,
It
and
is.
you, oh man, and I still think Madrimov is the. Oh, maybe I don't anymore, but he's the second best in the division.
He's
But
really good. Yeah, we'll
this
get on
guy,
to that.
fucking Bud, moved from fucking 47 into a blender.
Yeah,
So if he wants to hang here and fight these guys,
yeah,
I'm telling you right now, at 37, he turns
yeah,
37 next week.
yeah.
Bud won't remain undefeated if he stays in this division. I just don't think it's possible. He may lose one, get one back.
Hey, look,
No shame in it.
if he stays here, B, right? Because we were talking about his ceiling, not in terms of skill. We think he's the best. His ceiling in terms of weight.
Right.
There's nobody at 60 except Janabek. Who cares about that? And then you have your white whale,
And
which
I
is
don't think
Canelo at
Janabek's gonna.
68.
Janabek just passed out, and
Yeah, so he's on his way to, he's on his way to
68
68
maybe.
probably too.
Right.
But there's no one hanging around there that's a huge payday. So if he
No.
stays here, it's a murderer's row. He has great fights until he retires if he stays here.
If he stays here, and if
You
he
know what I mean?
wants,
Let's just say he does. Let's just say he does. He goes, all right, Canelo's not happening for whatever reason. And you and I aren't really horny for that anyway. But regardless, if he stays here, it's a murderer's row.
no. But after hearing what his purse was for this, I don't blame him for wanting Canelo.
No, agreed. It put
But
a lot of things into perspective.
Yep.
A lot
So
of things into
the
perspective.
only thing I'll think of now, and I'm just thought of it this second, is that maybe he said, "Yo, take this relatively short money up front for this, and I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, I mean, that's how he's talking.
I'm gonna get you the world."
He's saying your next fight is going to be the world, no matter who it is.
Right.
Hey, look, I love that he went upstairs with that
Charles
decoy ball.
Conwell.
Yeah.
That I distracted you from and turned the tide somewhere else. Sorry.
Crazy. His ring IQ is higher than I previously gave him credit for.
Mhm.
I've always liked him, but I didn't think of him as a guy with a super high
No,
ring
and for
IQ.
some reason, I thought he
him-
was old. I thought that he was old for some reason. Like,
I think we both did, and we said, "Yo, this kid's young."
yeah,
You
Yeah.
know what it is? It's an old guy name.
Charles.
Like, yeah, this
Conwell.
guy used to yell at us on the street. His name was Charles Conwell.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's the mean guy on the block.
Facts.
Yeah. With that knockout had Gray folded up, and that's the longest I saw someone hurt from a body shot. Maybe
Yeah.
it's certainly in recent memory.
Sure.
That's the longest I seen someone folded up, was still wincing well after the fight, and on his stool was wincing and just screaming the word fuck, because he was mad that he got caught by it, but also in pain.
He got fucked up.
And you can't do anything about that shot, bro. There's nothing you can do.
No.
You're gone. You're gone. So yeah, moving on, guys, to the main event. I just wanted to say something, B. Shout out to all of these guys who are learning English as adults. All of these fighters from wherever you're from. That could be the Congo, as you saw when Jared Anderson got packed up.
Yeah, by Bacoli.
Did you see the footage of him going home?
Yeah.
It's like riots in the streets, tipping
Bro.
the car. I'm so happy for him.
Hell yeah.
A guy like Bacoli, a guy like Bohachuk. These guys are adults learning a new language, guys. Try to learn a few sentences of Ukrainian as an adult, because you're all adults listening to us, and see how long it takes you to learn a couple sentences and then come back to me with
and
that.
they're doing this in a sport where they get their brains bashed in too.
I'm gonna shout out someone who I haven't always. I believe the person who started it, because of their understanding of how this works, was Miguel Cotto. He couldn't say anything, and then the guy's speaking fluently. He made a conscious effort in his mid to late 20s to get to his late 20s and early 30s, where he was answering everything in English.
And he could do voiceovers, that guy.
Absolutely.
He has an incredible,
I think Miguel Cotto is proof of what can happen if you dedicate yourself. You're seeing in Canelo and how funny everyone's saying Canelo is now.
Canelo's nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's funny as shit.
Bro, did you see him at the last press conference?
Yes, I did.
He was dressed like a zoot suit cholo, like when they
Yeah. When they go to like get to
Like when they show
deals.
like the Hollywood depiction of like East Los, you know what I mean? Like, or that's what he looked like to me.
Absolutely.
He's got like the shirt unbuttoned with the wife beater underneath, and he was even doing some like smacking thing, like he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like
Yeah. I
basically saying
like
he's
it the
gonna
one
spank
when
him.
he told I like it the one where he told Caleb Plant, Caleb, don't worry, I'll take care of it
Yeah,
for you.
I think I'm at the 8th round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So main event, Vergil Ortiz, Serhii Bohachuk, 154. Yo, man, this is why we love this sport so much.
that was a fucking barn burner.
You couldn't ask for more out of these guys. Um, um, yeah. So it's look, man, this is I'll tell you what happened here. As soon as the bell rung, this is when you instantly know how good these two were.
Right.
Power jabs, everything was working for both of them. I'm like, these guys are so good when you're watching. It's like we hate to there's these things that become what's the thing we hate? He's downloading information. You know how we hate
Ugh.
that, B?
It's just become such a cliche.
Well, we hate cliches on this show, but what was happening was um there's levels, man, and that's a cliche too. But this is when you
Right,
see it.
right.
I go, oh my God, these guys are so good. They jump right into a phone booth.
And and
Um,
and really didn't come out.
it never really came out of the phone booth until the 12th.
Right.
Let's talk about the knockdown. Later
Legit.
rolled a slip. Later rolled a knockdown. Was it Harvey Doc? Was he in
Hmm.
there?
Yep.
Great job by Harvey Doc. I'll tell you what he did. He was pressing the issue if you could hear him. He wasn't mic'd up, but the boom mics were
Yeah.
picking it up, and he kept pressing the issue. Yo,
Check
look at
this.
that. Check that. So mad respect to Harvey Doc for making it an issue. Now, these things are so tricky, B, because he went down and there was a punch thrown. And that's by the rules of the sport we love,
That's
that's
it.
a knockdown. I mean, there were
I think it was,
two
I
in
think
there.
it was I think it was a knockdown.
That second one was bad too. I don't mean bad meaning it shouldn't have been called. I mean, you have to be so frustrated as a fighter, when they happen. And we're gonna get to
Well,
your
he
scorecard.
got caught, and he was off balance, got caught, off balance, wobbled, and he came back like the second knockdown, he came like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, I have no I upon further review, I have no problem with the first knockdown. The second one, I'm not sure I would have called it if I was.
How? He hit him. I think they're both telling. He hit him, he went down. He didn't trip or slip on anything.
That
He
second one
he
looked
got
iffy to me.
he got froze and went down. He got he came back. I don't think he was hurt, but I think this is 2.5 rounds over the course of 2.5 years.
I don't disagree with you there, and I don't disagree.
Mm.
I don't. Well, not that you said it. I think there's a lot to be said about what can happen to you when you're blowing guys out. No doubt.
And bro, he had this rhabdo. This is only his second fight at the weight
Yeah,
in 2.5 years. And the
yeah,
guy they put him in with was Thomas Delorme, whose
yeah,
best days were at 140,
yeah. Of
who
course,
got
of
knocked
course.
out 9 years ago by Bud Crawford.
Yeah. Well, no, we've talked about that. I
Right.
just don't think the second one would look, man.
Oh,
I guess I'll go back. I
you
guess I'll
guys
go
write us at
back.
keotbboxing@gmail.com. Tell us what you think.
I'll go back and watch it again. You know what I mean? The first one upon further review. When it first happened, I said if they rule this um a knockdown, I'm not gonna be mad. And I think the first one, fair enough. Something was thrown there. Second one, I don't know. It's iffy. It comes into play, and hey, we're gonna talk about our scores where it's really gonna come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they were throwing power jabs, thudding shots, man. I don't know how these guys were standing there.
Dude, the Vergil Ortiz's body shots, I don't know how Bohachuk was standing up to that. The only thing I'll say is, and I would talk about this all the time, weight classes mean a lot. And there's a reason that they were willing to suck Vergil all the way down to 47, where he's getting these diseases because of it.
Yeah.
This is why. Because anybody at 47, he folds like a fucking lawn chair with those shots. Moves
I,
up.
I don't want to take anything away from Bohachuk, so I'm not going to 100% agree with you.
Okay.
I agree that the shots he gave, all those
Boa-
shots take everyone out at 47. I just think if they,
Oh, this guy's super tough.
I'm saying I think they might take out a ton of people at 54 too.
Well, time will tell, right?
That's the same way time will tell with Madrimov. You know what I
Right.
mean? Whether
Right.
Bud and Vergil were, you know, where they're making 47.
But okay, to our point from the beginning of the show, stop. You have two rematches that need to be made right now, or could be made. Madrimov and Bud could be made. That's a rematch that I would
Absolutely.
And now Bohachuk and Vergil Ortiz.
Absolutely.
Rematches that this one, I don't think there's anywhere else for these guys to go except.
You're talking fight of the year. You're talking one guy had it even.
Let's do it again.
Look, I call this intelligent violence, these type of fights. One thing I love about Ortiz, so when a guy's coming forward, we don't see that because he knocked everybody out. You know what I mean? So this is something he does. When a guy's coming forward, you have two options. You just plant your feet, stand there and trade, you know, or fight off the back foot. Ortiz plants his front foot and rotates.
Yeah.
So
he stays in the phone booth.
He's still there, but he's moved. It's very interesting. He does it instead of backing up. So he's still in a position where he could sit down on his shots when he wants to throw them because the front.
It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of high level shit to do that.
Yeah. So and it's like Bohachuk appears to be the aggressor, but it's Vergil was still able to be aggressive.
Right. It's Vergil walking him into it by not walking away.
Really smart stuff. You know, and then I'm thinking, all right, this Bohachuk is fucking really good and he's hard as nails, but he can't keep this pace up. Then he throws 70, 80 punches.
Dude.
The round after, I think that. So go ahead.
What the fuck was with the pace?
I don't understand how these two are machines.
Frightening pace.
These two are machines.
Frightening pace.
Two machines. Hey, there were two knockdown scores. Whether I like it, you like it, whatever. Whether you know, I'll say something.
Sure, go ahead.
Which is interesting regarding the knockdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 12 rounds. We had two knockdowns. I don't think Vergil Ortiz was ever hurt, and I think Bohachuk was seriously hurt 5-6 times.
I don't disagree. I'll tell you right now, the second knockdown that we were talking about, Vergil Ortiz came back after being knocked down like he just scored a knockdown.
Correct. The second time.
Yeah.
Can
you recall in recent history where you've seen a guy react like that to being knocked down?
No.
I was like, holy shit.
No, if what you said lends anything to the credibility of my statement, it's because I don't think he was hurt at all, and I wouldn't have ruled that a knockdown. And he immediately thought, now there's fucking two fucking knockdowns.
Right.
But then,
as the rules state, if I punch you, and what would you call it? A slip? What did he slip on? The lettering?
It's not in front of me. It was awkward. I was hyper focused on that first one, and I believe you are correct in your assessment of it. The second one is not in front of me right now. And again, we spoke earlier about the replay of the Charles Conwell knockdown. There wasn't one that sold me either way. So I'm just putting a question mark.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't see something that said to me, he got clipped or he slipped on the golden boy sign. You know what I mean? I don't have that to carry with me. So there's a question mark there. I'm only going by he's intently shaking his head. No, and pounding his gloves together like no. Please don't call this a knockdown. So we're in August. We're recording on August 12th. Y'all are gonna hear this on the 14th. So it's my fight of the year.
No question.
I don't want to give my card until you say your piece and
Okay.
what you thought, what you saw.
Okay. I saw. Okay, so I had the sound. I had the sound up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing.
This
I'm
mudgy,
doing my best here.
being a mudge, curmudgeon.
It makes me more mudgy, which is why I don't listen to it with it up. To your point earlier, this was the zone team was doing well. I didn't see some of the stuff that the commentators saw in terms of like Ortiz is doing X, Y, and Z. There were times where Bohachuk was backing him up, and they're talking about how great Ortiz was doing, but missing what Bohachuk was doing. Now, on the flip side of that, not the flip side, Ortiz in every round was competitive and did come back. So where I said like they would say Ortiz is landing big shots and they're missing Bohachuk landing 2 or 3, Ortiz, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, would come back and then he'd whack, usually start to the body, he'd whack Bohachuk to the body, and then I go, okay, the bad call at the beginning of the round is now canceled out by them missing him, brutalizing Bohachuk to the body and going upstairs. The one thing I will say about Ortiz, maybe with a little bit, some more fights at length and not just blowouts.
Yeah.
Did you notice he was smothering his right hand a bit?
A little bit. I did notice that.
Like
I did notice that.
He would have an opening, and I don't know if this is really Bohachuk staying at the right distance. Ortiz was looking, or Ortiz in a panic. Ortiz looking to land a big right hand on top of Bohachuk's guard. Wasn't judging space properly, and usually came after 2 really exciting body shots where he was going body, head. And I think if he, very, very, very easy for me to say from the comfort of my couch.
Yeah, air conditioned.
If he maybe just slowed it down a bit, and hear me out, guys. I know speed kills. Slow it down a bit to finish the combination properly. Rip the 2 body shots like you did. Slow the right hand going on top of the guard just a bit, so you can judge the distance a little more and get a little bit more precise with the punch. Like to who we talked about the week before, Bud Crawford. You'll see Bud throw a lead right hook from the southpaw stance that doesn't have a lot of speed on it, and it's to land it where he needs to land it. It's to be very accurate with it. He's aiming the shot. I think that Vergil Ortiz, sometimes, Vin, like, how you do something real fast, and you tell yourself in your head, got to slow this down a little bit.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Getting it. Thank you.
Yeah, he gets ahead of himself. Well, again, we've had 21 smash 21 dudes before.
Right.
So it's like you said, I think those knockdowns created this, B. So let's give him a reprieve.
I noticed it in the I noticed it in the Mo Hooker fight too. Yeah, where when he gets pressed, it's not necessarily mistakes, but he's going, I got to turn it up a bit, and when he goes to turn it up a bit, I think some of the fundamentals.
Got you. That I absolutely agree with. I just didn't notice it in the Mo Hooker fight. It'd be interesting for me to watch it again.
And then, of course, when he settled down a bit, and then it was,
I think the 2 knockdowns made it worse.
Yeah,
what you're saying, forgetting it. Okay,
sure.
I gotta make this. I gotta knock him down now. I gotta get my lick back. And that's all his head's saying. And while it's saying that, it's not going, slow down, set this up. You have a beautiful jab. You're doing beautiful work to the body. Throw that right hand the way that you should.
Or Vin, we've said this time and time again. Maybe having 3-4 soft touches. Now, granted, he was supposed to fight Stanionis. There was plans for him.
Yes.
It got fucked up.
Plans to fight Tim Tszyu.
Plans to fight Tim Tszyu. At this point in this show, when we started, the Lost Eps on Patreon, right?
Yes.
We had said by this time, Vergil Ortiz and boots would be getting made at this time.
Correct.
That was 3.5 years ago.
Correct.
So here we are.
Yeah, in early COVID, we were telling you guys these are the next stars.
Right. And that they would fight each other.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, that they were on a collision course. And in those 3.5 years, we believed that they would fight the guys necessary for the fight between them to mean a lot.
To happen.
If it happened next week, you and I would salivate, but it won't mean anything.
In that time, Ortiz was supposed to fight some guys we named. He hasn't.
Correct.
He's now getting the
Stanionis a few times.
Right.
The disease thing happened.
Right. He's getting
Timzu. I'm sorry.
He's getting Bohachuk now.
Yeah.
So this is, and he had Mo Hooker then.
Yeah.
So he's getting these. He's gonna get what we thought he should have gotten, but he was sick with this illness.
Yeah, we're just lucky as fans that he's as young as he is. You know what I mean?
So I think
is he 25, 26?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me look him up. But
in my opinion, again, we have people that know way more than us that listen. In my opinion, he's still not in his prime yet. I always give my numbers. I believe 28 to 32 is when everything has come together.
Mm-hmm.
When you're younger, your body's in the most superb shape.
He's 26,
but you're okay.
Turned 26 in March.
And Boots is 27 or 28, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I do believe he gets ahead of himself in there.
Thank you for putting it like that. Yeah.
Serhii Bohachuk is fucking good, man. Really, really, really good. You scored it. I know that you scored it. I scored it. You know that I scored it. We scored it live, the correct way that it should be. Sometimes we'll both admit, I was kind of scoring it. I could be.
I scored it. I
was scoring it. Go ahead.
7-5 on rounds for Ortiz, minus the 2 knockdowns.
I had it 8-4 Ortiz minus the 2 knockdowns, 114, 112. And before you look at me like I'm a mental patient, this is maybe the watermark fight when we reference, guys, there are fights where rounds are close, but you could think one guy is winning them all.
Right.
Like Bud and Madrimov. So there really isn't a scorecard, as long as it's within reason, that someone could show me for this fight that I would say you don't know anything about boxing. I don't think you having it. You think Serhii Bohachuk nicked it, and I have zero problem with that. And so you go, how did you give him 8 rounds? There were 2, 3, 4, 5, upwards of 6 rounds where they just beat the shit out of each other. Where maybe I just liked a little bit more. Those shots where I personally know when a fighter is hurt, where a schmohawk is watching it, and they're only what they only know is being hurt is a knockdown. You start getting into things. I'm not saying I scored one, I didn't, but you start getting into things where you go, that guy never went down, and I had that 10-8 because he took such a beating. I didn't give any 10-8 rounds. I'm just saying there were some shots that were so big, and he was on fucking Queer Street, meaning Bohachuk.
Yeah.
That I may have given him that round.
Right.
And he was so hurt and so close to going down. He did it, which says a lot about his mettle.
Yeah.
He did not. And I wrote you and I said, how did this kid get stopped by Brandon James? Tell me.
I don't know.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it. I don't know.
He got clipped.
He got clipped and folded. I don't know. This kid's not human.
Right.
I'd like to go, it's fun because we break each other's balls on and off the air. I would love to tell you, what were you watching? How did you have him nicking it? Can't do it. Can't do it. I just want you to understand how I came to that, where maybe if 2 of those, I thought he was hurt 4 or 5 times badly, never went down because he's a goon and he deserves all the respect that we're giving him here, including you gave him the goddamn fight. So don't write in and say, hey, what did you guys watch? I thought Bohachuk won. Hey, well, guess what, guys? So did B.
Right.
You
I
know,
did, yeah.
so don't, look, you flip a couple of those rounds where I go, well, Bohachuk was doing the stanky leg there, and that round I gave to Ortiz because of that. So if that doesn't happen a couple times, him being really badly hurt, I have it 113, 113. You know what I mean? Or maybe your score. So
Yeah.
so talk to me about this when I said within reason, I'm not mad at your score. You seem to a little bit taken back by that. Like, nah.
What do you mean?
You seem to be like, nah, that's off. There's a winner here, and it's Bohachuk.
I think, but yeah, I think with the knockdowns, I'm doing the math now. Did I score this right? Um, did Bohachuk win the fight? If he didn't win the fight, it's a draw. I can't, it's hard for me with two knockdowns to give it to Ortiz. And then the rounds that were close,
Do
there were,
you
like I
remember
said,
consciously going, fuck, he was badly hurt, so that's a clear round for Ortiz? Or are you like, well for 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that round, he was getting in Ortiz's ass? No
yeah,
doubt.
that's what I'm saying. That's kind of where I always go with that. Where I try to do it. It's going to sound tedious because it is tedious.
It's not. It's not.
And my scoring method is I score try to score by the minute of each round. And every round, I do my best to wipe my memory from the previous
one.
Right. So
I
every
think I
round
was
is,
I think I was doing that. And I go, he was on
you're good at,
fucking Queer
no,
Street.
you're good at doing that. Yeah.
He was on Queer Street and
Like,
I don't when I saw people and their scores and their fights, there seems to be, look, man, there's people that don't know the sport at all that talk about it, and we don't pay attention to them or discuss them. People that we respect, everyone was like, great fight of the year,
yeah.
Bohachuk showed up, you know what I mean? All of that.
And I don't think it was a robbery. Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at. It's like, this is really tough, man. And it's like, I saw robbery talk with Madrimov, and I'm like, you can't say that though, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Because
it's silly.
these guys just beat the shit out of each other for 12 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look, to me, like I said, I had a 114, 112. To me, there's a great solution if they're trying to give Bud a huge fight. Running it back with Madrimov is not a huge fight. I'd love to see Bohachuk Madrimov.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that fight.
It's a good one. On the co-feature with
yes, the Bud fight.
winner,
and the winner gets Bud either again or
and
Bohachuk
losers get each other.
Yeah.
Just have these guys fight each other like.
Yeah, because that's what they should be doing.
Agreed.
When we talk about that round robin shit and how we love it,
yeah,
it doesn't happen, but you can do it now at 54.
Absolutely.
All of you guys are at a high level. These aren't.
And you have another guy as a sub, two guys, Charles Conwell.
Right. For the record, I think they should run it back, this fight. I just don't think they're going to. I think they eked it out.
You don't think that's it? Okay.
I look, man.
I know.
I'm not saying that Vergil Ortiz strikes me as a guy to avoid a fight. I'm saying, where is Oscar's head at? I think it's we got past this guy.
Got past this guy, right? Okay.
We want to make that big fight, and that he's look. We both agree, we're in agreement that they promised Bud a bag.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what that bag is or against who. We have no idea. But
again, this is why you don't talk about it ahead of time. These things are not foregone conclusions, meaning the promoters,
If they, like you just said, foregone conclusions and promoters, if they have it their way, it'll be Bud, Vergil Ortiz.
Correct.
If these guys have it their way. I
think that's what we're getting.
I'm not mad at that fight.
Me neither. Unless something more marketable than Vergil Ortiz, because he's still a relatively young guy, unknown, 2 years off, comes up for Bud.
Is Boots more marketable right now than Vergil Ortiz?
It's a good question, Vin. I don't know.
Because of where we live, it's tough to say because we saw it in person
Well,
in Philly. What
yeah,
was going
I was
on?
just gonna say we saw what we saw. Yes, that would tell us yes.
From what we saw with our eyes, my answer is yes. But I don't know. I don't
They're
know.
they're both not active enough.
You have a black kid from the East Coast and a Mexican kid from Texas, from East Prairie.
Yeah.
We don't know. Could he do the Dallas Stadium or something? And we don't know it because the Mexican fans will come out that strong. You know what I mean? It's possible.
Um, I don't know, but guys, write us at kotvboxing@gmail.com and we'll put a poll up. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. We'll put a poll up on the Instagram, and I would love for you guys to comment underneath and give us your scores and breakdown on the IG, and Vin and I'll peruse.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's move. Should we move over to the ESPN card?
Yeah. I mean, let's just worst to first blast through these.
Well, starting it off, this is first, but not worst. Crazy fight to start the night at 5:50 p.m. is Arnold Kagai, who's really good
Bro,
at 21-1, 14 KOs, a Korean Ukrainian. I mean, how much more interesting can you get versus Belmar Preciado at 126, which is looking real active after
yep.
this night too. Look, Kagai throws short, crisp punches, digs to the body well. His feet are really good. He's not from the Papachenko camp, but he looks like he picked some shit up somewhere, particularly with the feet. Preciado can fight, but Kagai was just too much.
Too much for me. He's all over.
Preciado quit on his stool after the 8th. I'd pick Arnold Kagai over Nick Ball and Ray Vargas right now. Right, if they made the fight next weekend.
Over Ray Vargas, sure. Over Nick Ball, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not a big Nick Ball guy.
We have two other champions,
Nick Ball.
which we're going to talk about. You're not a ball guy. No, Diddy. You saying Nick is what made it not the illest one ever. That's what saved
I'm just thinking of Pablo editing Nick out of it and saying,
right.
I'm
not a big ball guy. Yeah, I really like Arnold Kagai. I think he's really good.
Agreed.
This kid Albert Chop Chop Gonzalez, they're hype for a guy named Damian Alcala again at 126, 3rd round KO. This kid Chop Chop Gonzalez is a buzzsaw. He's still really raw to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 22 and he's with Robert Garcia. So you're with the right guy. But,
right.
I just saw a real strong, raw guy. And for me, did you ask me off air about the Vito Mielnicki
Correct.
situation?
Yeah.
Can you bring that up on the air?
All right. So Mielnicki, who we're not his biggest cheerleader on this show.
Yeah, I'll take the brunt of it, but yeah.
He was fighting a TBA in Laszlo Toth.
Yeah.
Laszlo Toth, am I saying that right?
Yeah. I don't know if it's Toth or Toth. Laszlo Toth.
He's not as good as the great Laszlo Pap.
He's not.
That's needless to say. Looked like Mielnicki had him out in the second, and it was a DQ. Wyvin.
So the father was on the ring apron, and my guess is that to stop it. Sorry,
Laszlo's.
Yes, Laszlo's father's on the ring apron to stop it. My guess is that he felt the ref wasn't stopping it when he got up there, so he got in the ring, and when you do that, it's an automatic DQ.
Right.
Look, it should be TKO Vito Mielnicki.
Right.
You and I spoke primarily for the last couple of years about Vergil Ortiz and quick knockouts not always being your friend. Not thinking highly of Vito Mielnicki. That's the case here.
Yeah, he called out Xander Zayas after the fight.
Look, at 54, which we said is hot right now, Zayas might be the only person he can pick up that won't kill him on a stretcher.
So 2 months ago, we're talking about ESPN
Yes.
154-pound future star in Xander Zayas, right?
Yes.
When they first signed this Vito Milnicki, he was thought to be a potential superstar as well.
Correct. We put a great
If
white hype stamp and we said that
if,
hasn't been used correctly
if
in what,
you
40 years?
right, if you want to put that on Vito Milnicki, I'm putting a great Boricua stamp, great Boricua hype stamp on Xander Zayas. Look at what we got at 54. The last 2 weeks, both winner and loser, I think, eat his lunch.
I take all of the things positive that I've said about Xander Zayas and erase them against this crop of 154 guys.
Right.
So what I mean is
He should eat a sandwich and move up.
that's if he was, 54 has changed drastically quickly. So this is like someone going up. I was seeing some good things out of Zayas. He kind of stunk it out in his most recent bout. All of these guys aren't just good at 54, they're all killers. Vito Milnicki and Xander Zayas, I have one word of advice for both of you. Run.
Yeah. Run.
If Milnicki can get down to 47.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I think the both of them, he should eat some pierogies, and they make this sandwich.
Zayas eat some arroco gandules.
They
and go to
they
60.
have this sandwich in Puerto Rico. It's called the Mallorca. It's a brioche bun with powdered sugar on it and like cold cut ham in it or fresh ham, and it's hot.
Yeah.
They serve it at the resorts. That's what he should eat.
He should eat some of them.
Yeah,
Xander Zayas.
and they got one,
3 of them.
and they got one for turkey for you. So when we go down, there, we'll get you a turkey. You're coming. We'll get you a turkey Mallorca, and when we'll cover the fights down there, me and Billy.
I think him calling him out. If I'm their promoter and they're both now with Top Rank, that's the only fight I'm putting them in.
I say make it next.
At 54,
make it
do it next. If they want to do it on Puerto Rican Day, the parade weekend, I'm sure that's the next time Zayas is fighting. It shouldn't be.
I mentioned pierogies for Vito Milnicki. Is he's Polish?
I don't know what Milnicki is. His mother's Italian.
Okay.
I don't know what Milnicki is.
Okay.
It sounds Polish to me.
To me too.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was Polish. That's why I said that. Sorry if he's not.
So Brian Flores, Lindolfo Delgado, our thing was these guys are both undefeated. We don't know who's the real deal and who's not, Two undefeated guys, no real scalps on their record. Lindolfo Delgado had the amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
And to me, his experience started to separate him from Flores in the third when he dropped him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the cream rises to the top, particularly in this sport. Flores looked a little bit lost in there. Then in the middle rounds, he'd have some success. But then to me, Delgado adjusted. I thought it was a fun fight, actually. And Flores was letting his shit fly for a little bit. I just thought Delgado was just a little bit more polished. I actually scored it. Did you score it?
No, but I didn't understand the split to say. I thought Delgado got most of the rounds.
Yeah, I had it 96-92.
Delgado.
Yeah.
UD.
Yes. Yeah. The main event, Venado Lopez.
Holy
Angelo Leo,
shit.
IBF featherweight title. Guys, it's,
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Going into this fight, Leo was ranked number 10. IBF.
Yeah.
We both thought he's highly underrated.
Highly underrated.
And underranked.
We watched him pick himself up and get himself back together on Pro Box, which again,
correct.
Amazing.
Moved up a division, right?
But Benito Mussolini lifts the curse. You called an upset special here.
Upset special, baby. And I called the Bohachuk Ortiz razor thin splitter.
You did. You did. We have the tide is turning here.
That's hopefully. That means there's some certain betting sites that might want to shoot us a little shkaro, if you know what I mean. Little, right, Billy? We we
I
sneak those
think
in.
knockout of the year in a title fight, man. Oof. It's tough to beat that, for
All
this.
right, let's talk about that fight though. So Luis Alberto Lopez, tons of fun, right?
Yeah.
Active, tough guy, machismo, full machismo. This guy
Yeah.
goes into Angelo Leo's town of um, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and stands there, balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Let's fight. Leo is a dog, but he's a dog with some discipline.
Yeah.
Luis Alberto Lopez is a fundamental nightmare.
Nightmare.
Does a guy like him, in your opinion, save for conditioning, need a trainer? Because he doesn't follow any conventional rules of boxing. And it seems here that
No, I don't know what you do. For all intents and purposes, he basically just needs a motivator in his corner.
right.
He does everything wrong. In my opinion, I picked him to win. In my opinion, it was going to take the type of guy that Barrera was, and I think Angelo Leo is really good. He's not.
I do too. No, he's not. He's not MMA. Yeah.
What he did to Hamed is how I saw Venado Lopez getting his title taken. A guy that good who is not affected by that style and can just. But look, man, Angelo Leo, great stuff. He's digging to the body because he knows Venado has an iron chin, right? That's what you're thinking. He's jabbing well. You're going, this is why he's doing it, because he's got an iron chin. Lopez landed some big shots in between Leo's punches.
The rear hand uppercut he was throwing.
Yeah, oh, crazy. It's just so weird.
It's so weird. Yeah, he does it like off the back foot, backing up very square, just kind of pops it in there.
Good, interesting, fun fight back and forth. The 10th round comes, the left hook.
Buddy. But leading up to that, I didn't like Renato's body language on some of the borderline belt. I mean, there were some straight nut shots, but some of the borderline belt shots, he was looking at the referee for assistance early in the fight.
He got clipped when he did it too.
Yeah. And then Leo puts his hands up like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, they're not stopping it. So I don't know what the deal with Lopez was. The 10th round, like you said, is that
look, here's something wild, B. He was getting clipped, so was Leo, the whole night by big shots. How amazing is this sport that you go, I think he got hit that hard a bunch of other times.
Right.
It's like what I mean, he got hit with some right hands where his head was flown and didn't budge, smiled, came back, danced, whatever. It's like what
was in this punch that
this perfect shot, and I guess that's our answer.
That's your answer.
Shot.
To me, it's like it appeared like this, like a guy can, in baseball, we use baseball analogies, right? Like he can strike out and still look good, and then he can strike out and be totally fooled.
Yep.
This looked like he was looking for a right hand to defend, and instead Angelo Leo threw the left hook.
Yeah.
He didn't seem ready for it at all.
No,
I mean, his head bounced off the canvas
a couple times, which is like a rarity.
Yeah. I didn't like the way he looked after he took the shot. It was a perfect shot, right on the chin, right at the point of full extension for Angelo Leo. Why was the referee counting?
The more I watched the replay, the more I was like, what the fuck are you counting for, my guy? Get somebody in here. He was completely short-circuited.
Dude, his eyes were in the back of my head.
Yeah.
His head, it bounced like a Super Bowl, like bum, dum, 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 dum,
Yep.
He did seem to recover. I was a little worried there. Post-fight, again, body language.
Yeah, the footage of him in the locker room crying is rough. It's always rough to see that.
It's rough, yeah. That would have been perfect opportunity. Again, wasn't on this card. I'm just saying historically for Jim Gray to put the microphone right
in his face.
Right in his face.
How does it feel to be embarrassed?
Right. Your entire family was front row.
Mm-hmm.
including your grandmother on oxygen. She just died 5 seconds ago. Her last breath was, "Why?" What do you think about that?
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Jim, we've decided, myself and as an organization, not to talk to you. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Joe? Wasn't that Tori?
Yeah. It's Joe Torre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's next for both guys? Again, no wonky scorecards here.
No.
Angelo Leo, immediately propelled, number one in the IBF. Great showing. I love that guy. I want to see just awesome
Does
things.
Angelo Leo beat, who does he beat of the other three guys that have belts?
Name, what do
At
you got?
featherweight, Nick Ball, Ray Vargas, and who's got the other belt?
Ray Vargas still has a belt?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
Make the Ray Vargas fight so they can knock his ass off.
Yeah, and he'll be.
He beats Ball and Vargas.
Oh, the kid we love is the other champ. It's like 6-1 at feather.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
we
guy.
said, how can someone beat this kid? He's a
Yeah.
cheat code.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I don't know why I'm fucking blanking on
it's
his name right now.
because we're tired as shit.
Yeah.
We stay up all night rewatching boxing matches.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, what do you want to see for him next?
Well, I think what's his name's really good. Arnold Kagai. I think he's number one somewhere. But
Okay.
do you go straight for, let's try to make a unification with one of the other belts?
You're thinking of Rafael Espinoza.
Yeah.
So
As far as belts, they're the three guys out
right.
besides Leo. Nick Ball, Espinosa, and Ray Vargas. Can you make any one of those fights? Can Top Rank make any of those fights? That's always better for us, for the sport, for everything, to start unifying. If not,
I'm sure they
how
could.
about
Yeah,
Arnold Kagai?
I'll take it.
Same card,
Yeah.
really good.
Is Lee Wood effectively retired? I haven't heard shit from Lee Wood in a while.
Someone, I think ESPN has him number 2.
Well, how's that?
I don't know at featherweight, so I don't know what's going on there.
I want to see. Yeah, let's do Arnold Kagai.
Yeah,
Well, what about Brandon?
Figueroa is
Oh,
still there.
when was the last time he fought? Oh, he fought in May. Beat up Jesse Magdaleno, who's a fucking
Yeah.
107.
Yeah,
What is he with PBC? Is that what it is? So he's frozen
Yeah.
out? Okay.
yeah,
All right. So
yeah. I think Arnold Kagai is a great fight, or and get a belt from one of those other three guys. Line that up and try to get it unified.
yeah, I love this Angelo Leo.
Me too.
Buy
Me
his
too.
merch.
All right, this weekend, guys.
Kind of slow.
Yeah, ESPN card up in Montreal. A kid that I'm a big fan of, and I think could possibly be special. Abdullah Mason is back.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's like that. He's like the bottom of the card.
Yeah, he might not even be on the main.
Yeah, he might not. Is he
main
going to be on
card.
TV? He'll be on
He'll
Plus.
be on the undercard.
On the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14-0, I think 10 KOs. He's fighting a guy named Mike Ohan. I don't know who that is. I think Abdullah Mason busts him up and gets him out of there. If you become 15-0, it's time to take that small step up. I'm not talking about a title fight, but let's start fighting some guys, ex-champions, or guys who fought for a belt.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, it's time for him because he's really good. Arslan Beck Makhmadov versus Guido Vianelli. Aren't they both coming off losses?
Yeah.
And they were both undefeated prior to those losses, right?
Guido. I thought Guido had a loss.
That's what I mean. I think they're both coming off. I think they both are coming off losses.
They're both coming off losses, but Vito also lost to Jonathan Rice. He wasn't undefeated.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So this is
I don't know what to think here. Makhmadov has no technique, no nothing.
No, he's not good.
I wonder who the favorite is.
Billy.
Is there a line for that, Billy?
Which fight's that?
Guido
Arslan,
Guido Vianello, Vinny's cousin from South Philly.
I mean, why is he my cousin?
Because I think you're more likely to have a cousin named Guido than me.
I think it's
The
very
only line
racist.
I have from our list is the and Billy fight.
Okay. So I don't know what the lines are. Don't if this is an upset special, if this is a passy picture, it's not. But I think Guido Vianello wins. He's just better. Like other guy can't fight.
He stinks.
I mean, he's the pits. He looks like the abominable
He
snowman.
does. He looks like a mini Valuev.
Yeah, indeed. Asles Iglesias, 11-0, 10 KOs, ranked number 3.
Yeah.
Um, Sena Agbeko, is he by chance related to Joseph
Joseph
Agbeko?
Igbeko? I don't know. I think, or is Igbeko like Smith?
Right.
You
We don't
know?
know.
Yeah.
Sena Agbeko got starched by David Morrell, if you need some point of reference, guys. If Asles Iglesias is the real deal, that's what's going to happen. There's
Yeah.
always sort of a line of demarcation of what you should do to a certain type of opponent. If you do, you're headed in the right direction. If you don't, we're gonna put that on you that we already put on what's his name earlier.
Yeah.
The kid.
Nothing about Joseph Igbeko. I think it is a common name in Ghana.
It is a common name. The kid Kenneth Sims. We said, we don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Asles Iglesias should get Sena Agbeko out of there.
Agreed.
Main event, Christian and Billy's number 1. B doesn't like this fight. He thinks Sergey Derevyanchenko is done and over the hill and that this shouldn't be made.
I agree.
disagree.
Okay. All right, so let's get an official Pezzy picks.
Is there an over-under, Billy?
There is not yet.
I'm not going to call an upset special, but I think it's going to be definitely tougher than you think, B.
Okay.
Definitely tougher than you think.
I don't think I think M. Billy's going to stop him that would be the first time in his career, right?
Yep.
But I don't think it's because, let me just say this. I don't think too highly of M. Billy. I just think it's at this point in Derevyanchenko's career, it's a bad matchup.
If they stop, if it's a KO, I think it's a stoppage by Derevyanchenko's corner late, not an actual knockout, not a clean punch, and he's.
So are you picking a
Uncle
UD for M. Billy?
I'm picking a UD. I think it might be tighter than we think. I think it might be close. I think it might be close because I'm the same way. I think Billy can crack, and I think that's sort of at the end of the beginning and the end of the discussion.
Right.
And Derevyanchenko is really good. He's just old.
Just old, yeah.
And he's been through it. It's not, we obviously talk about guys like Bud, who's close to his age next week, but there's been some wars. Tough fight with Golovkin, tough fight with Charlo, tough fight. A lot of those fights, people think.
And the inactivity.
Derevyanchenko nicked it.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been inactive. I just think it's going to be closer than you do.
All right.
I think a UD or SD for Christian and Billy, and then he's got to figure out where to go.
Yeah, I'm saying there's
Canelo's not fighting him.
No. Yeah. All right.
All right.
So Billy, how'd you do last week? Tell us.
Not good.
Uh-oh.
I was making Paz just pull shit out of his hat.
Well, that's the thing, B. It's like I can give locks, but he's like, what round's he gonna knock him out in? I'm like, bro, I don't want this on my head.
I don't hold you to it though.
You don't, but it's like there was a 3-fight parlay, right? B, that I saw.
Yep.
Like on the screen. $100 would have won you 144.
100.
So you would have won $44. If Billy wins $50 a week.
Yeah. We got kids in private school.
But he doesn't want to do that. I can give him that every week.
Those
Give me it every week. Hey, yo.
Hey,
yo.
hey, yo.
Cool.
No, did he?
What'd you guys do after the old fights the other night? The guys doing
But then I took just again because I'm trying to get the big score.
Yeah,
I
of
took
course.
Vergil Ortiz in the 8th.
Uh-huh.
okay.
But again, I'm not holding anybody to those.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you get wacky, then you know,
I like getting wacky.
I know you do.
Like plugging yourself and getting wacky.
All
Jesus.
right.
We
Do we
got
have
any
any
mail?
mail?
Yeah. Correct checked in. Maybe don't do top 5, but give us one. He's asking, what are your personal top 5 satisfying wins in boxing? He defines satisfying
Oh
as
yeah,
a
you hate a
fight
motherfucker. And
as a fight you got personally invested in that you really wanted your guy to win. And then I'm gonna no sell him asking about why episode 89 is not on Apple.
Oh,
Blame Billy.
But give us some satisfying wins for you guys.
I'll say the Bernard KO of Tito was pretty fucking satisfying on a multitude of levels.
um, hmm.
We could certainly do a show where we do the top 5
Yeah, we could
with
do the
that.
top 5 satisfying wins of
Yeah,
unlikable guys.
but I liked Tito as a fighter. I liked Tito Trinidad. But there was a lot going on.
Low hanging fruit, and again, it's actually, you know, it was satisfying to me, and this is going to be blasphemous because of what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio Martinez flatlining Paul Williams.
Oh, that's
And
the
I'll tell you why, because of the frustrating way Paul Williams fought with a guy with the tools to stay at range and chose not
yeah.
to. And
That's the fight I've told on air. I woke up everyone on my hotel floor in Helsinki, Finland.
yeah. So off the top of my head, that's one of them in recent history.
Yeah.
As a kid, was because I loved him. Roy Jones, James Toney.
That was very sad for me.
Okay, I felt the opposite.
Yeah, because you're a jerk.
You root for the heel.
James Toney's like on the right day of the week, my all-time favorite fighter. On the right day of the week.
Right, but he's a heel, no doubt, right?
Sure. Brilliant
Right.
heel.
Right.
Billy.
We have David Perro. Check in.
What up, David?
He's referring to the Ortiz Bohachuk fight in this, but he says, great podcast. I look forward to the Wednesday drop so I can listen while driving around for work.
Thank you,
What
sir.
was with the review of the knockdown from round 1? If they are going to review something, why not do it immediately or ideally in between the first and second round? Looking at it 4 rounds later seems crazy to me.
Well, the logic being what happened, and it needs to be scored correctly no matter when, as long as it's scored correctly. How about this, B? I'll stop arguing about the second knockdown in that fight, but say it should have been looked at the same way the first one was.
Sure.
That's how I'll leave it.
Okay, I'm kind of confused by the question. Didn't they reverse the call right away though, or they waited?
No.
They waited till the 4. Okay,
He look. That's why I gave Harvey Doc props. He was pressing it
gotcha.
early, but the announcers came in later and said, "Look, this has been ruled." Da 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 da.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
David continues. He says, I continue to see our favorite boxing term, robbery. And the idea is that the challenger has to rip the belt from the cold, dead hands of the champ in order to win thrown around. Do you think adding 2 more judges like in the Olympics would alleviate the ridiculous cries of robbery after a fight?
No.
Two more judges is 2 more levels of
corruption.
of corruption.
2 more people to pay.
Yep. That's
He
it.
and I would like to have 3 judges sequestered on big monitors
And
score the cards.
and maybe if this guy can't make it as a boxer, we hire out Guido Vianello to ask him to explain themselves. And if they don't explain
Yeah, we
themselves,
send this Guido if they get in a bad card.
just
B
Vinny,
just cleaned up spot. B just cleaned up the sport and with
like
one idea.
one idea, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Guido, come in here. Wow, what's the matter? This guy,
What's the matter for you?
I don't know, this guy's thumbs, they look too straight to me.
Uh-huh.
You know? Oh, I fix it. I make them nice.
I fix it. I make them a nice and an event.
Last part of this. David asks, he's not sure if you guys watch the Olympic matches, but I'm gonna mess this up. Bakodir Jalolov won his second straight gold at super heavy with a 14-0, 14 KO professional record,
Yeah,
and
it's
at
insane.
30 years old, is it time to start putting him in with tougher competition at the professional ranks?
Yeah, go pro and move him quick.
That's it.
Super
Well, no,
quick.
he is pro, right? Is that what he's saying? Bill?
He does say he is pro.
Oh, I thought he was
Should
saying
be tougher.
I thought he was saying he was in the Olympics and yeah, irregardless.
Right.
Yeah.
Should they start putting him in with tougher competition is the question.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. As far as the Olympics, 92 when Oscar won, 96 when Zab was in the Olympic trials and Floyd lost. I think that might have, I probably really paid attention to the 2002. I don't know. I always am aware of what's happening and who's doing well, and what they did, but I don't know, man. It's the system, the judging system is wonky for me.
Agreed.
You crack someone in the head, the guy lands a jab back, and it's considered the same thing by their,
Standard, yeah.
standard.
All right.
B, what do you got social media wise?
You guys can find me at KillerB24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG. Find us, the show, on IG at KOTB Boxing. Write us at KOTBboxing@gmail.com and on YouTube at KOTB Podcast.
I am at Boxcutter Pazzi on IG, at Vinny_Paz on Twitter. For all merch and music, jmtstore.com. I sent an email to both Billy and Jan regarding KEOTB and BSB merch.
So we'll be seeing
Radio silence
nothing
from both.
I'm waiting to hear the answer.
See?
I don't have your answer.
Here's the answer. Get it done.
All right.
What we'll discuss after what we want to do.
What do you think about that? No answer from both.
Unreal.
I noticed that tonight.
Very disrespectful, baby,
No
the way I'm
soul in
treated.
These guys are they jealous? I mean, Billy's in the picture.
Exactly.
Right behind his head.
Right.
His
Wouldn't he want that mug on more t-shirts?
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't he want that mug baby on a mug?
Right.
I was forced into that photo, by the way.
I don't know about forced.
Yeah, come on. We didn't have to.
We didn't have to twist any arm.
We didn't have to twist your rubber arm.
It was a little push.
Like,
a little push.
My beard was looking good that night, so I decided to take it.
It went like this. Paz goes, "Hey Bill, send us a picture for the shirt." And before the text was done,
went through. There was 9
There's
pictures.
9 pictures.
Which one do I look best in?
Professionally done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were headshots.
These are lies.
He sent us headshots.
All
right. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.
We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.